The desert has called them. As dawn breaks, on a new adventure, the world is changing. This is the race for the planet. Extreme E is back. Fully electric off-road racing, where equality is true, and legends face a new generation. We're here to make a difference, to highlight the damage, pioneer technology, and leave a lasting legacy. As we accelerate towards a better tomorrow, our electric Odyssey begins here, where the blazing heat disorientates and the sands shift. Focus your mind. Remember why you race. The Desert X Prix is waiting.
Prepare to be aggressive.
Hyperdrive now.
The dust has only just settled on the inaugural season of Extreme E, where we saw Rosberg X Racing take the first ever championship title. But there's no rest for our adventurers, as Season 2 has already begun. This year kicks off with the Desert X Prix in Saudi Arabia, where this time we visit the northwest of the country near the city of Tabuk and the deserts of Neom, which will see the first action of the year. Round 2, the Island X Prix, will revisit the Mediterranean island of Sardinia, Italy, where we will be highlighting the effect of devastating forest fires that are increasing globally. The third stop returns to the shores of Senegal, just north of its capital Dakar, for the Ocean X Prix, where during the last visit, the dunes provided incredible action.
Over the crest, Leduc's going to shut the door, he does it! 2 passes in 1 lap, brilliant!
Our fourth race will see the championship visit its 5th continent, South America, where the mines of Antofagasta, Chile will play host to the Copper X Prix to raise awareness of the planet's mineral resources. Our final stop on our worldwide adventure visits Punta del Este in Uruguay for the Energy X Prix, spotlighting our need to move to renewable power sources. There we will crown our new champions, and Extreme E's second season comes to a close. Yet again, some of the world's best racing talent are taking part in Extreme E, where each team consists of 1 female and 1 male driver. Season 1 winners Rosberg X Racing, founded by F1 champion Nico Rosberg, are back to defend their crown. 4-time and reigning World Rallycross champion Johan Kristoffersson returns, but this year he'll be joined by Michaela Arlin Kotelinski, who makes the move from JBXE. Can this new lineup retain the championship title? Looking to dethrone the champs is Lewis Hamilton's team X44. 9-time World Rally champion Sebastian Loeb will partner Cristina Gutierrez. Jutta Kleinschmidt returns for Abt Cupra XE. The only female to ever win the Dakar Rally has a new partner for Season 2 and is joined by 4-time and reigning Dakar Rally champion Nasser Al-Attiyah. 2019 World Rallycross champion Timmy Hansen and teammate Katie Munnings will race again for Genesis Andretti United in 2022. With all the pace but none of the luck, Chip Ganassi Racing will be looking for consistent results in Season 2. The All-American outfit have retained the services of drivers Carl Leduc and Sarah Price. 2-time World Rally champion and 4-time Dakar Rally winner Carlos Sainz's team Acciona Sainz will see El Matador once again pairing up with Laia Sanz. Veloce Racing have a new driver lineup. Christine Giampaoli Zonka makes a move from Excite Energy Racing and is alongside South African racer Lance Woolridge. With Christine GZ moving on, Excite Energy Racing will see Oliver Bennett return alongside up-and-coming 21-year-old Swedish rallycross star Clara Andersson. Jenson Button's team JBXE and their driver Kevin Hansen will be looking to extend their podium streak in 2022. And with reigning champion Molly Taylor swapping teams from Rosberg X Racing, they'll be full of confidence that they have what it takes to make a claim for the title. Last but certainly not least is a brand new entry from motorsport royalty McLaren. American off-road racer Tanner Faust partners Kiwi driver Emma Gilmore, who is McLaren's first ever female racing driver. With 32 FIA World Championships shared between the teams and drivers, the stage is set for a dramatic Season 2. But who will lift the trophy? Extreme E presents the toughest challenge in the world of motorsport and will see 20 world-class drivers and 10 amazing teams go head-to-head in the pursuit of the championship title. Each team will consist of one female and one male driver. They will do battle in 5 X-Prix across the globe, each bringing the world's attention to a specific environmental issue. An Extreme E race consists of 2 laps. The male and female driver must complete 1 lap each. Over the course of an X-Prix, the quickest team through the Continental Traction Challenge collects a further 5 championship points. Each team has a hyperdrive power boost that they can activate on every lap of the race. Expect strategy and tactics. Day 1 is qualifying, made up of 2 rounds where teams will battle it out for qualifying points. Round 1 consists of single-car time trials, while Round 2 comprises of 2 5-car heats. Qualifying points are awarded for both, and the team's scores are added together to determine intermediate standings. The top 6 qualifiers from Day 1 will go into the 2 semi-final races, with the bottom 4 teams going into the Crazy Race. Day 2 sees the knockout races, starting with 2 semi-finals, where the top 2 teams from each race will progress to the final. The Crazy Race is the last chance to reach the final, with only the winner progressing to the main event. In the 5-car final, the team that crossed the line first wins the X-Prix and claims 25 championship points, with the following teams collecting further points in descending order. Not forgetting the 5 championship points for the fastest team through the Continental Traction Challenge, which can make a huge difference. The team with the most championship points come the end of the season will be crowned Extreme E champions. Sadly for Clara Anderson, her Extreme E debut would have to wait as she tested positive for COVID-19 just prior to the race in Saudi Arabia. Championship reserve driver Tamara Molinaro stepped in to take her seat for round 1, and she took us for a preview of the incredible course in Neom.
Hello everybody, I am Tamara Molinaro and I'm the championship driver for Extreme E. This weekend I will actually be racing for Excite Energy racing team, so I can't wait, and if you want you can come and have a look at the track with me. Gates 1 to 7 of this 6.9 kilometers track are really wide and open, and here we will see drivers try to take an early advantage. So here we are at the ridge line. As you can see, we come from a very fast section. We have then a big change of surface. As you can see, we can go into really hard rocks. So even here it will be really an interesting point, for tires and rims as well. When we did the course test, they actually behaved amazing, so it was perfect. And then a bit of a tricky part, tricky to decide which line to take. Gates 13 to 22 are the start of the Continental Traction Challenge, where the fastest drivers of this section will earn 5 points, before we reach gate 23, the summit. You can see those 2 flags up there, and it's basically where the car is going to appear before actually going down these 2 really steep downhill. You have the first one, which is not as bad as the second one, and the most important thing will be actually to be able to slow down before the switch area in. We actually have to be 30 km an hour exactly before crossing those boards. So it's not so easy to slow down a lot after carrying the most speed we can from the hill. So I can't wait to get it started, and yeah, hopefully we will have a good weekend.
With the teams and driver lineups set, it was now time to head out for the first competitive action of the new season, with qualifying round 1, which would see the teams setting timed laps to determine the 2 5-car heats for qualifying round 2. First to set the benchmark was Jutta Kleinschmidt in the new-look Abt Cupra machine. A solid lap saw Jutta bring the car back in great condition, where she handed over to fellow Dakar legend Nasser Al Attiyah. The Qatari driver was looking fast on his debut lap, but at the end of his run he ran through the switch zone instead of the finish line, which would prove a costly mistake.
Reverse, through finish line.
Sorry guys, sorry.
They weren't the only team to make mistakes. After a clean lap from Katie Munnings for Genesis Andretti United, she missed the grid slot in the switch zone, handing them a 5-second time penalty and dropping down the order. Kevin Hansen looked to be putting in a solid lap for JBXE, but after handing over to his new teammate Molly Taylor, she picked up damage on her run and had the tricky task of keeping the car in one piece and lack of race pace as a result.
Something in the rear snapped over those rocks.
Veloce Racing with their new driver lineup were looking rapid on their run. Lance Woolridge behind the wheel first, he handed over to Christine Giampaoli Zonca provisionally fastest. Looking to impress, Christine was pushing hard.
Christine GZ goes fastest, so Veloce quickest so far. Brilliant drive.
But the deep, rutted desert sand caught out its first victim.
Chris, talk to me on the radio. Talk to me. Are you okay? Are you okay?
So sorry.
Despite this huge crash, GZ was able to leave the car with fairly minor injuries, but left Veloce's weekend hanging in the balance with a huge repair job on their hands. Season 1's qualifying Masters X44 yet again looked the ones to beat. Cristina Gutierrez and Sebastian Loeb, as expected, flew through their lap to provisionally top the times. However, it was the turn of the Season 1 champions RXR to try and spoil X44's qualifying streak. Four-time and current World Rallycross champion Johan Kristoffersson put in a masterful lap and handed over to fellow Swede Michaela Arling Kotelinski, who was looking to impress on her first outing with the current champions. A brilliant lap from Michaela saw RXR ahead of their Season 1 rivals X44 by nearly 7 seconds and took the top spot of qualifying 1, with Lewis Hamilton's X44 taking the second spot. This meant that 2 5-car heats would see RXR take on third-place Genesis Andretti United, Excite Energy Racing, McLaren and JBXE in Heat 2, with X44, Chip Ganassi Racing, Acciona Sites, Abt Cupra and Veloce Racing in Heat 1, provided they repair the car for qualifying round 2 later that day. The region of Neom in Saudi Arabia will be the site of some revolutionary new urban developments. Built from scratch, they will be designed for people to live harmoniously alongside the natural world whilst causing minimal impact on the environment in a step to help reverse the effects of our warming planet. Climate change is being accelerated by the huge quantities of greenhouse emissions that are being put into our atmosphere by human activity. Nearly 3/4 of which comes from our use of energy. Our various industries use a large proportion of this, as do our buildings, but the way we move ourselves and goods from A to B causes over 16% of greenhouse emissions. And within that 16%, pipelines, trains, shipping and aviation all have relatively small parts to play compared with the nearly 12% of gases that road transport causes. But what effect is this having on the deserts of the world, like those of Saudi Arabia?
Well, probably the most important thing is that it's warming at a rate that outstrips that of the global average temperature by quite a long way. The background global average for the last century is a degree and a bit, but we're seeing the sort of increases of around about 0.6 degrees per decade here, and the additional heat that we're seeing stresses everything, sometimes beyond capability. And that's just the start. This is the observations, not the projections to the future. Temperatures above 50 degrees C are outright dangerous, but they also invoke damage to human systems, so it's a real issue. Climate change, we know for sure, is brought about by greenhouse gases, which are of human origin and are increasing. The key thing to do is to reduce that emission and eliminate it, and to do that as quickly as we possibly can. A big part of the greenhouse gas emission is the energy sector, and a really important player within that is transport, and within that itself is road and cars. Extreme E then is contributing directly to the solutions, showcasing the role that electric cars can play, proving that they're capable of operating in extreme environments. It's not only through the promotion of electric vehicles that Extreme E is working, it's also through leaving behind legacy programs, things that last beyond the race itself. That entails repairing environments that have been damaged by climate change, been damaged by human activity. We're working with neom in this part of the Arabian Peninsula. Neom seeks to reintroduce trees to a region where they've been removed, to do that process very carefully and scientifically, and to recreate the sort of microclimates and environments in which ecosystems can function again. It's a slow process, but we know in the past there were a lot more trees here than there are now. They've been removed for all sorts of reasons, including fuel. It's particularly important in the dryland environments because the trees essentially provide shades, which is the opportunity for many other species to survive. And in this case, it sees planting of trees, introducing a simple species like lizards and other reptiles. Water is an incredibly scarce resource in desert areas, but it does exist. And the re-nurturing process involves water at its center. So reintroducing species, nurturing them, carefully managing these environments is one small way of making that positive change.
After the timed qualifying laps earlier that day, the order was now set for the first wheel-to-wheel action of the Desert X Prix. With Veloce unable to repair the damage from their Q1 crash in time, it was a four-way battle in qualifying Heat 1.
What a lineup, absolutely brilliant. Loeb, Price, Sainz and Alatia, first time wheel-to-wheel this year. Green light now, brilliant start for Sebastian Loeb in the middle of the grid, but pretty even traction across the whole run. I think Sainz maybe's got a bit of run on him. Alatia dropping back. Loeb now takes the lead nicely. Sainz going to slot in behind or try and get alongside. Sarah Price moves across as they come up towards the funnel. She shuts the door on Alatia. Carlos Sainz still inside. Sebastian Loeb as they run further up takes an alternate line. Loeb goes across to the right-hand side. Sainz kicks the car up over the grass. Price has gone all the way across in the Hummer EV on the inside line. Sainz has got up alongside Sebastian Loeb. Has he managed to get through? More speed from Alatia, trying to come around the outside line, but it is Sebastian Loeb finally with the whole shot at about the second or third flag.
Good job. 2 seconds, Gav. 2 seconds.
Alatia now closing up on Sainz.
Alatia makes a pass up the inside. Absolutely stunning move from Alatia, carried mega pace through there. Oh, some contact between them. Contact between Sainz and Alatia.
It was terminal damage for the Acciona Sainz team, meaning their qualifying ended there. Abt Cupra also picked up damage from that collision.
Power steering is kaputt. Power steering is kaputt.
Giving Jutta Kleinschmidt little chance to defend second place from Chip Ganassi.
Watch for Kyle LeDuc now, taking an alternate line. He goes to the right-hand side. Kleinschmidt uses the hyperdrive, but extra pace here alongside. He's going to know what she's done. Is he going to respond and use his? He passes her anyway.
With X44 having carved out an enormous lead, Carl LeDuc would have to settle for second as Cristina Gutierrez cruised to a finish to win Heat 1 of qualifying.
The first of our qualifying races, it goes to X44. Congratulations to Loeb and Gutierrez. What a lap it was, an absolute stunner.
Okay, Chris, well done, good job.
It was good for us because we won the qualifying too, so we need to take all the points to see in which semi-final will be tomorrow. We take the spare position, so this is the most important thing.
With X44 having topped Heat 1, Rosberg X Racing would need a flawless performance in Heat 2 to end X44's qualifying streak. Sebastian Loeb, Carlos Sainz and Nasser Al-Attiyah are all legends of the off-road racing world. But Extreme E has a mandate to promote gender equality, giving female drivers the opportunity to test themselves against some of their icons. And though it may be all smiles in the paddock, that all changes out on track.
When I'm behind the wheel, I take it incredibly seriously. I am uber competitive. I don't take any prisoners. It comes down to how competitive you are as a person and how much you kind of want it inside. I'm Katie Munnings, driver for Genesis Andretti United. Motorsport was something that I completely grew up with since I was born. My first memory is sitting in the passenger seat of a rally car that my dad was driving when he was an instructor. I remember being terrified because all I could see was the top of trees and the speed I really got a sensation for. And once we'd survived the lap, I remember being addicted to the adrenaline of it. From there, I grew up on quad bikes and buggies at the family kind of motorsport entertainment company. I never went through the karting ranks. I've probably been karting twice in my life and I'm rubbish. So for me, it's always been off-road, and then I moved into grass auto testing when I was 14, which is like a slalom on grass, handbrake turns, reverse flicks, all of the kind of stunt movie tricks. Then when I saw the challenge of driving and I saw the talent that the other people had that I was competing against, I really got into it. And that's where I learned the kind of skills that were the base of my rally development. To come from rally where you're not compared to all of these drivers all the time, especially drivers like Sebastian Loeb and Carlos Sainz. I would be in a little front-wheel drive junior car and they'd be in a full-spec WRC car, and you can't make those comparisons. But here you can, because we have the same machinery and we have the same opportunities. These guys have a lot of experience, but I try not to give them too much respect when I'm racing with them, because otherwise I'll just open the door and let them through on the corner. I never thought that motorsport was a career. I always thought it was for lucky people, and kind of have to pinch myself every now and then because I realise I am one of those lucky people now. There's never a moment as a driver when you think, okay, now I'm a professional. And for me, I feel incredibly lucky at every race that I'm at to have this opportunity. Extreme has given women something to aim for. It's giving them a seat that they know is there and is for them. Even speaking to girls now, they're considering careers in motorsport that they hadn't before. Whether that's from the mechanic side or the engineer side, I think it's opening a lot of doors, and it's giving us a good platform, I think, as well on mainstream TV to show girls that they can do it as well. Our ambition is always to win. We know we're capable of it, we know we're fast enough. We were on every step of the podium last year, on 3 out of 5 races, so this could be anyone's. Who's going to find the best line? And that is a really cool feeling as a driver. You know that you've got a real chance, and that's really motivational. My ambition is always to be as fast as the guys, and to be as fast as the fastest guys out there.
With X44's unbeaten qualifying streak now up for contention, nothing less than perfection was needed by RXR to take pole position. They'd have to finish ahead of Genesis Andretti United, Excite Energy Racing, JBXE and McLaren in qualifying Heat 2.
All eyes on that light on the left. And it is a green light here in Saudi Arabia. Let's see who's got the best start at the moment. It's Andretti United on the far right. This is going to be a close one coming into turn 1. You can see the sand flinging out all the way. McLaren taking the inside line and trying to sneak past Andretti United. But oh, that's a lot of air there for Faust. And it's Hansen flying at the moment for Andretti United.
With Tanner Faust in the McLaren giving it everything to try and get past Timmy Hansen, the battle for third place was on between Michaela Arling-Kotelinski and Oliver Bennett behind.
This is the battle for third and fourth, and it's like a little bit of bumping around, but she has managed to take it.
I think she broke the speed limit, Jenny. She had the nose of the car down, then you saw it fly back up and then go back down again.
Okay, Michaela, we are under investigation for overspeeding in the switch zone.
Despite that small mistake from Michaela, RXR still had a shot at the win as other teams were suffering with their own misfortune.
Quite a bit of time lost for McLaren. What's going on in the car? Emma Gilmore struggling to get the car away. So there's a problem for McLaren. They drop from P2 all the way down to P4. Oh no, that's an absolute disaster. So McLaren are stuck in there. They've dropped all the way down to the back of the pack now.
It's not engaging.
With McLaren out of the running, Johan Kristoffersen had his sights set on hunting down Katie Munnings ahead.
My word, this is getting close as they come towards the end of this race, and I have to say, it is drama all the way. It's closing in all the time. 3.21 seconds now. Munnings has just got to keep ahead, but is she going to be able to do it? This is coming through to the final few turns, and this is one of the biggest challenges as you come down to this left.
This is the risky corner. She's lifted to keep it safe. Kristoffersen goes wide, lights it up now on the throttle, drops into the line that Lance Woolridge took. He's down deep, look to the left-hand side. Whereabouts is Katie Munnings and Andretti United? He rejoins the track. We can't see Katie. There she is. He's right on the back of her now. They're going to race down the hill. Kristoffersen jumps to the inside line. He's going to use the gas now, try and pass Munnings on the run down the hill. Side by side towards the finish line. Johan Kristoffersen for RXR, the reigning champion, shows his class. Nicks the victory at the line. What a finish. That was epic.
Well done, Johan. Yeah, I was trying to push a bit more because of that I knew that seconds is going to be very important.
That was a good effort, Johan. It is what it is now.
Even with that incredible lap from Johan, their time penalty dropped them down to 4th in Heat 2 and 5th overall, meaning X44 retained their qualifying streak. But will history repeat itself and see RXR get the last laugh? Next time on Electric Odyssey. We join the drivers as they head to the deserts of Neom to get up close and personal with some of its wilder residents. Learn more about Neom's plans for a sustainable future.
Neom is all about creating a region where we enhance nature.
Plus, see which teams come out on top in the semi-final races.
Oh, Hansen!